Hello, fellow lead guitar players. I want to show you a cool, simple trick today to help all of your scales, your ear, your playing, your practicing, everything get better. It's a simple little tool, ninja level skill. We've heard the sound before, but I want to capitalize on it. Let's check out what it is. Today, I want to show you a simple skill. It's a musical skill, and it can apply to any instrument, any scale, anything you do. This cool thing is called the sequence. You've heard the sound before. Some of my students think it's a lick or a move or something, but really it's just it's an exercise we do that can equally be applied to practicing and bettering ourselves on our instrument, but also having the benefit of when you solo, you can use these things all the time. And you've heard this sound before. That's kind of like in its full shot right there. You hear it going down. That idea. So this is a simple thing called a sequence. It's just a little idea, a little numeric pattern, if you will, you want to think of it that way, that we apply to any scale. And again, this is a music idea. So this happens on any scale, on any instrument, any way it happens. The most common sequence I see, because there's a variety of sequences. I've seen books about sequences. They're really just kind of little math formulas, simple ones. People often joke, they must be good at math if you're good at music. And I say, yeah, I can count to 4 pretty well. But this kind of math's easy. So the idea would be a 3-note sequence. That's the first one I ever heard, I hear the most, and it's probably the best one to start with. The idea would be is take any scale shape you know. So let's say we take the rock and roll rule, pattern 1 pentatonic, and let's put it up here on the B minor, D major world. So right here we have the 7th fret and 10th frets, and we walk across pattern 1 of the pentatonic scales. We talk a lot about in the other videos of how this can equally be B minor, if you base it on the B notes in this case, or it could equally be a D major pentatonic if you base it on the D notes. Like that. So in either way, we're not actually going to talk about it musically, what we're going to do with the scale today. I want to talk about just physically how we can move through this pattern. So the 3-note sequence is 3 notes at a time. So we're going to start with our first finger under the first lowest note of the pattern, and we're going to go up, ascend, 3 tones. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now I want to start on the 2nd note of the scale. That's now the pinky note on the thick string. And we're going to go 3 tones from there. Now we start on the 3rd tone of the scale, 1, 2, 3. Now we're on the first finger of the A string, and we're going to go up 3 tones from there. 1, 2, 3. If we follow suit, we start on the 4th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to go up 3 tones from there. 1, 2, 3. So that's our first octave starting from this first note. That was full 5 tones of our pentatonic. And together as a 3-note sequence, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Makes sense, right? It's not too bad. You've heard this on a million times. You can follow it across the whole scale. You have to think of starting on each note, doing 3 notes from here, 3 notes from the pinky note, 3 notes from the first finger, 3 notes from the 3rd finger, and follow suit all the way across. 3 notes from here, 3 notes from here, 3 notes from here, and you'll get 3 more from the pinky on the B string. It'll together sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and lastly 1, 2, 3. So that was a 3-note sequence using guitar pattern 1 of our pentatonic scale. That didn't take into consideration any musical ideas, whether that was a B minor or D major. That's a separate question and answer. And it didn't really talk about the rhythm to use on that. Some people immediately say, oh, isn't that the triplet lick? 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And that's true. People do play that lick in triplets. It's kind of on the nose. I like to mix it up. I like to do an odd number like that, like a 3-note sequence, but do it maybe as 8th notes, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and like that. You can even get a little more complex and do it as 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see rhythm has nothing to do with the number of notes you use. And when you practice, you should capitalize on all the different ways rhythmically to do this. So the sequence is great for a number of reasons. A, it gets your fingers moving in combinations you might not normally reach for. I don't remember at first, but I don't think I liked to reach with my pinky when I first started something. That was kind of an awkward grip, excuse me. But then once I got comfortable, it neutralized it. So the sequences help even out your hand. All the weird little combinations. Sometimes there's a lot of that rolling. I hear my students we call it rolling or rocking. When you go back and forth across the same fret on two different strings. Sequences deal with all of these issues on your instrument. And again, this applies to any instrument. When I first picked up a flute, the first thing I started doing after I got where the notes were and how to make a tone was to sequence simple scales. That was the best thing to do on any instrument, on piano, on guitar, on your voice, and in so many different ways these help you. The benefit again of this idea is it also helps your ear. You can start to anticipate what your scales will sound like. The guitar should never surprise you in terms of what it sounds like. You should always know what the notes will sound like before you get there. And I don't mean perfect pitch, like, oh, that should be an E note. But I mean, I should anticipate it. And doing sequences, your ear is going to start to know what's coming. And that's what you want. You want to be in control of that information as a musician. You'll play so much better if you do. Lastly, these sequences are great because you'll actually use them in solos. You don't have to necessarily do the whole swoop at once. Although listen to Good Times, Bad Times by Led Zeppelin. And Jimmy Page on one time does an ascending E minor, way up on the 12th fret. He does it during, at the beginning, one of his solos, and a few bars later after a cool John Paul Jones bass line. He does almost another full one again. People use them in different capacities. I've heard them in all styles, whether it was a solo in a Bob Marley song to Randy Rhoads and Ozzy, like every guitar player, Kirk Hammett, every blues guitar player, everyone does these. People call them by different things. They're not sure exactly what they are. Some people learn them as a lick or a move. But once you kind of see it in the bigger, step back and take a simple look at it, it's just a sequence. You can do this up and down one string. You can do them in so many different places. So the thing is, you can always use them in solos. So if I did something like this, see if you can spot when I use it. I'll play again in B minor. I'll think like that for a second. So I'll go 3, 4. So I did them a couple of times, just maybe two or three of them at a time. And you can get a lot of miles out of them. I hope this helps. This is a great technique. You should apply this to any scale you have, whether it's a 5-note pentatonic scale or a 7-note mode. You can practice them in different ways. They're great on all fronts to help you as a guitar player and as a musician, and those will both help you play great guitar solos. All right, check out leadguitarworkshop.com. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We want to keep seeing you. We have a lot of stuff we have to share, and I hope you're benefiting from this. Let us know what you think in the comments, and I hope to see you guys around. All right, rock and roll.